This is Andrea Riley interviewing Miss Samantha Moses, in instructional design media specialist. Please introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm Samantha Moses. I'm the school library media specialist at Coyle Middle School, and I've been a media specialist for 7 years, and I've been an educator for 19 years.
Good. Awesome. How did you begin your path as an instructional designer or instructional technologist? And what advice do you have for newcomers?
So I decided I really came in to instructional design through the school library angle. I was an art teacher for 12 years, and then I decided I wanted to move into the media center. Um, Even as part of my art practice, I used technology a lot. So that's just been kind of a natural transition for me. And every year, particularly within the COVID years, technology just naturally became a bigger and bigger part of what we do every day. To the point now where we're grappling with AI and how to present that to students.
Okay. What instruction? Why did you best choose this career path?
So I don't know. I fell into this career like backwards, I think. I was not going to be a teacher at all. My parents were both teachers, and that was the last thing I wanted to do. I was going to do something else. And so I went to college and studied art, and then I went to grad school and studied painting, and I was in the fine arts area, and I ended up teaching art anyway because I was teaching adjunct at UGA at the art school. I was creating my own art and paintings and trying to make a career out of that, and also waiting tables at the same time.
Wow.
And it was, I think I turned like 29 or not, I had my 30th birthday, like in my mind's eye. And I was still like, working at a restaurant, and like I had no money, and I was thinking, I got to do something. So my options were, I was thinking about going to law school, or I was thinking about becoming a teacher. My dad said, don't do it.
Which one? Don't do which one?
Teaching.
Okay, the teaching. Okay.
He said, don't do it. And I don't know. I think I had some contacts over at the art school because I was already there. And they were like, you could add on your teaching certificate so easily to your MFA. And so I believe really that decision came down to, I knew what it was about, and I could conceptualize it easier than like, I felt like going to law school, I would be completely starting from scratch and trying to figure out that direction. So I ended up adding my teaching certificate onto my MFA. And then the good news about that is my first year of teaching, I was at a T6 level already.
Wow.
So I walked into a pretty good salary, which was good because the job is hard.
Yes.
So getting paid a decent wage is going to keep people in it.
That's right.
Because there was nothing that really comparably, I was using my background in art and in technology, because when I was an art student, I did a lot of technology, video editing and things like that, performance. But I was able to use that. And then after 12 years of teaching art, the gal who is the media specialist here at Coyle, her husband was being transferred out of state. So she said, I'm leaving. She's like, you should really think about applying for this job, because she said, you're in the library all the time. You read a ton. You're always, helping people out in the way that fits into this job. And So I decided to then pursue that option because I just, 12 years of teaching the same thing, you kind of need a change.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You really do.
Right.
I didn't want to clean
So it's a good
paintbrushes.
fit for you.
I didn't want to clean paintbrushes anymore.
Not full time.
Not full time. I didn't want to look at another paintbrush. Look, I have a paintbrush right here.
Right. And it's right there in your
right
face.
here.
That's a good memory.
But so it was a natural progression, but it was not the plan.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So all of that background is to say it was never the plan, but it was a natural progression.
Yeah, well, good. Okay. What is your favorite ed tech project or initiative that you have been a part of?
Well, I would say one of my favorite things is the Northeast Georgia RISA workshop that we have every year, and it's held in Winterville. It incorporates a lot of librarians from and school technology people from around the region. And it's more of a conference.
Okay.
So, and I have presented, have I presented for that one? I can't remember. I've presented before with that same group, but I don't know if it was through that exact thing. But it's sort of like, it's sort of just a day of like sharing ed tech and library innovation ideas. And it's always really, really worthwhile to go to. I feel like the school in itself is one big ed tech project right now.
Right.
Like I can't think of narrow it down to like one single initiative. It's every day is an experiment in educational technology.
Exactly.
Sometimes it goes better and sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
But I think that you can't just say, oh, I'm excited to use this technology. Again, the goal is still student learning. It has to be student learning. It can't be the goal is to use the technology. Right. The goal has to be student achievement and student learning. Right. And if you get too distracted by too many innovations, then I think it's easy to get lost in that.
Right.
And then you're thinking about the technology instead of the students.
Exactly. Okay.
I think it's better to pick a couple of things. Like I was into Pear Deck a few years ago, and I taught the whole staff Pear Deck, and that was during the pandemic when we were teaching virtually. That I feel like worked really, really well for that setting because it allows the students to give instant feedback on within the slide presentation. When I teach in the library, a lot of times I'm not using that much technology at all. I prefer to have the kids writing on Post-it notes, index cards, chart paper. I want them writing. I don't ever set them in front of their Chromebooks. I might use my board for something, for like a short video and then a turn and talk and discussion and stuff, but I don't ever set them in front of their Chromebooks. I feel like they stare at screens way, way too much already.
I agree as a teacher. Okay. What instructional innovations have you or your team implemented? Walk us through the implementation process.
So I guess, and I'll talk a little bit about COVID again, because again, that was a very sudden sort of wake up call that we had to train teachers, and we had to train teachers quickly. So I guess that I had to scaffold for a lot of my teachers, particularly older teachers that hadn't been using the Google Suite as much, and every teacher was suddenly required to have a website and be using online instructional technology such as Pear Deck. So I had to approach it in the same way that I approach teaching, which is um, differentiating for different style of learning and scaffolding for people who needed the extra help, including creating models that they could just plug their own information into.
Okay. What do you find most rewarding in your role? What issues or challenges do you face?
I think most rewarding to me is still connecting students with books. At the end of the day, I am in instructional technology because as a media specialist, technology has become a very big part of my job, but I still do have that love of library books and reading. So literacy is still the bottom line for me and the most rewarding part of my job. Um, my challenges that I face is that there's just a constant flow of change. And so you have to be super adaptable in this position. You have to be willing to learn new technology all the time. You might feel like you just got something accomplished or mastered and then it's changed.
Do you work as a part of a team, and which instructional design processes do you use?
So yeah, definitely we work as a part of a team. I don't think you can work in a school and not be part of a team. And I collaborate with different stakeholders all the time. For instance, I'm part of the local school governance team, which is a combination of teachers, admin, staff, parents, and even students to kind of push forward with different programs and things that we want to fund here at the school. I also collaborate with instructional coaches and teachers in designing around their curriculum, things that they need to teach, and then I figure out what parts can I bring to the table, such as virtual reality, maybe a virtual reality um, experience that emphasizes like how a storm is constructed, like a tornado type of thing, and different science based or social studies based scenes in the virtual reality headsets. So, yeah, I'm constantly collaborating.
Okay. And you technologies and tools do you prefer when creating course or training?
So, I I like the Google Suite for education, and that is where I sort of start everything. Is within that Google Suite. I just find that it's ubiquitous. It works. People know how to use it, and I also enjoy bringing in virtual reality when possible into a curriculum.
Okay. How do you best map learners' needs?
Well, it depends on the type of learner I'm dealing with, I think. So if it's students, I know looking at our school wide data, the type of learner that we're dealing with, and because we have a lot of, for instance, struggling readers. Our kids have typically have a deficit in vocabulary, um, decoding, and sometimes comprehension.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know that I have to keep that data in mind every time I design an assignment for them, that I'm going to need to try to scaffold and introduce additional vocabulary, scaffold for my learners, try to meet that data where it is, and um, while also keeping in mind that our school-wide goal is to provide grade level instruction at a tier 1 level. So I think that looking at the student data, that's where I have to come from with that instructional design. But with the teachers, and I can't even remember, there was a class that I took at West Georgia called like diffusion of innovations or something like that. And so basically what one of the biggest concepts is that any time there's an innovation, you're always going to have like your early adapters. Then the next group is going to be like your average adapters. Like they'll get into the swing of things with most people, and then a few late adapters, and then people that won't get into it at all. And I try to think about how I can structure groups of people to work together, because there's always going to be somebody on your team that is like adept and adapted at technology really, really easily. Probably somebody younger who's so used to working with technology that they don't even have to think twice about it. And so I do try to help teams help each other, or identify people on their hallway that they can get help from first, before having to, come back to me or district level people.
Awesome. How do you design courses or trainings for differing devices in your building?
So because we use the Google suite of education, I don't really have to differentiate the type of device things are going to be on, because everything is cloud-based. So it really doesn't matter if kids are on their Chromebook or it's on a whiteboard, the projector, which is a PC, or it's on a teacher device. The only thing that would be different, there's an iPad would be a little bit different because they could potentially use an app. Although I have sort of little control over the apps that we have. Like I have to put in, if I want a certain app downloaded onto our set of iPads, I have to get with higher district technology to do that. I can't just download apps, and nobody at the building level can download apps. That's district tech.
Okay.
But I don't think that
Okay. And the last question, which blogs, books, or communities do you follow for ideas and trends? Based on your experience, what qualities define an effective course or training?
Okay, so I like to follow School Library Journal, which has a lot to do with book reviews and things like that, but also has to do with technology trends. And my experience, the best courses or training utilize a little bit of technology to amplify the skills that the people already have. So at the end of the day, technology is great, but it can't be the end all be all. The people still have to be learning and enjoying themselves and amplifying their own talents using technology. So you can have a lesson with the greatest technology, but if the kids or the people that you're teaching aren't learning what you want them to learn, have you been successful or not? I don't think so. So the human element has to be there.
Awesome. Thank you, Miss Samantha Moses. We really appreciate your interviewing with us today.